everybody? Today is the day we're diving into the ads manager. You have all the pieces. You have your Tripwire funnel. You have it. You have the perfect funnel that you've identified. You have the opt-in offer. You have the sales offer. You have the landing pages all built and the emails all set up. You've got your ad account set up. You have your pixels placed. You have your custom audiences made. You have your lookalike audiences made. And you have your ad creative ready. You've got ad copy drafted, you have images and or videos made, so you have all the pieces ready, and now we can finally come into the ads manager, not have to worry about making anything else, and we can just set up the ad account. So what we'll do here, let me get rid of this because I'm going to show you how to set up your own reporting, which is really helpful later. But what we're going to do today is we're going to actually go through and set up your own campaign. So once you're done watching this video, you're going to go set up your own ad campaign. You're going to figure out how to audit your own ad campaign to make sure it's working. And I'll show you how to set up a reporting dashboard right here so you only need to see the metrics you care about so that you're not constantly just looking at numbers that don't matter. So you log into your ads manager and you're going to click create a new campaign. And depending on what version you have, it might prompt you to set things up and you can follow its prompts, or it'll just give you what it shows me here. But you can see we're going to set it up for conversions because we have our conversion pixels placed and we want Facebook to optimize for those conversions. And then the new campaign setup right here. And so what you're going to do, and I'm going to use this campaign I already built so that you can see exactly what it looks like. But the new campaign, once you create the new campaign, you can then edit it. And so you'll come here, you'll edit your new campaign. And there's a couple things you can select here at the campaign level. So it's optimized for conversions. Don't worry about A/B testing. Daily budget, you could also do a lifetime budget. I'd recommend daily unless you have a reason for one of your ads to turn off at a certain point. So for us, let's say $25 a day. And that's all you need to set up here at the ads at the campaign level. I would recommend leaving the campaign budget optimization on. All this does, if this is off, you set your budget at the ad set level, which the ad set level is where you pick your audiences. But with campaign budget optimization, Facebook will take your budget at the campaign level and shift it between the ad sets. So depending on what one's working better, it will give it different levels of budget. So long story short, make sure this is toggled on. And then once you go inside here, you won't have any audiences yet or ad sets. So you'd hit create and you'd create a new ad set. And you can see when you create a new ad set, it'll look just like how to edit an ad set. So you can name it, you can create an ad. You also don't need to create the ad yet. If you don't want, you could skip it. Oftentimes, I'll just put like a number in here as a placeholder. So like number 1, and then I don't know yet what audience I'm using, so I'll also put in like a number 1 here. These are just placeholders, and you're going to go edit this in a minute. But you can see here, once it's built, basically then it's just like any other ad set. So let's look at an ad set I've already made. So here is an ad set, and I named it customer email list because that's the audience I'm targeting. Highly recommend you name your ad sets after what the core audience is you're targeting. You don't have to add in everything like age range or anything like that, but it's good to get it at least at a very high level what audience you're targeting. So here's your customer email list audience. At the ad set level, you need to tell Facebook what we're counting as a conversion. So for us, we're going to have the lead pixel, which is the standard event pixel that we've already placed on the thank you page of our opt-in. The thank you page of our opt-in in a Tripwire funnel is also the sales page where we sell the offer. So that's where the lead pixel is placed. We're going to tell Facebook we're considering that a lead, and that's what we're optimizing for. So you select that. You can see here a lot of different things come up, including custom conversions, which are based off of the URLs. But the one that just says lead is the lead pixel. And we haven't used this in a while, this lead pixel in this account, and so it's showing up as yellow. It'll show up as green. So once you've got the lead pixel placed and you've visited it once, it'll show up as green inside of Facebook because Facebook's telling you it's working. So that's one way to know this is already working. Start date, no end date on my ads. Down here under audience, this is where you pick your custom audiences. So in this one here, we could change this to be the email list. So these are audiences that we've already built into Facebook. And so this is one of the custom audiences I uploaded. It'll take a second. So email all subscribers from last year. And that's my list. And then for location, I don't need specific targeting for this. You can see how specific. This is a town near where I live in Oregon. You can get very specific. So if you had a local business, you could target very hyper locally. But if you don't need to do that. But you do need to put in one location. So say we're targeting the United States. And then down here, you can pick different age ranges, genders. Unless you have a reason to really limit certain demographics, I recommend keeping this fairly open, 25 and up, all genders. Don't have a lot of this until you know exactly what type of person is opting in and buying. You don't want to limit this because it can get more expensive the more narrow you make your audiences. We're going to always use automatic placements unless we're doing anything that's not a conversion campaign. Automatic placements means it's going to be shown on all the ad placements, so Instagram, Facebook, Sidebar, Messenger. For the most part, though, if you're actually optimizing for leads or even a sale, it's going to show up on Instagram or Facebook in the news feed or stories. And so that's how you set up an ad set, which again is really just the audience. And so you go through here, you can ignore a lot of this. Everything I ignored, you can ignore. But there are a lot more features in here to explore, but you don't really need to do that now. If you did want to do your lookalike audience, which we highly recommend you start with your lookalike audience when running your ads, same thing. You can just come in here. You can see I already have a lookalike, but when you go search and you click here to search on an existing audience, you can either just type it in or go to lookalike and then search within lookalikes to find the lookalike you want. Because you can make lookalikes out of any custom audience. So people that have opted in, anybody who's actually hit that lead pixel and fire, people who've engaged with you on social media, people who've viewed a page, lots of different custom audiences you can make lookalikes out of. If you do want to explore interest audiences, you could remove your lookalike audience and come down here to detailed targeting. Detailed targeting is where you can target by interest. So say I'm selling something, or I'm trying to target graphic designers because I'm offering a free offer for graphic designers. People interested in graphic design, that's 41 million people. People who actually have a job called graphic art designer, that's 105,000. For this, we're looking for a few 100,000 people in an audience, ideally even like 1 million to 2 million maybe. For lookalike audiences, we'll do 5% lookalikes in the US, which is over 11 million people. Facebook's gotten really good about optimizing within large audiences, and so the larger the audience, the longer that audience might work because you're not going to oversaturate it. So we try and find larger audiences. But anything at least in the couple 100,000 person range is what we're going to be looking for. So you could try interest audiences if you want, but I'd really recommend just starting with a couple lookalikes and maybe retargeting. So once you've set up your ad sets, and for the general rule is you're looking for about 35 to 50 conversions a week in a campaign that's got the campaign budget optimization on. And so for a free offer, we'll say $5 a lead. If you do $25 a day and it's $5 a lead, 5 leads a day times 7 days is 35 leads. That's right on the minimum of what you'd want to see for Facebook to actually learn enough to start optimizing for you. So $25 a day is probably a good budget to start at for your campaign. So at that level, I'd say 1, maybe 2 audiences or ad sets. So you could do 2 different lookalike ad sets. You could do a lookalike and maybe you add in a warmer audience. So you could do your own email list and then a lookalike of your email list. And maybe that would be the only 2 ad sets inside of your campaign. To get to the ad level, you can just click on the blue link for the ad set, and it'll pull up the ads inside. So to edit your ad, you click on it. Remember, this is the dummy ad we made. Just put the number 1 in there as a placeholder. For naming creative, you can name it after what it looks like. We often will just number our draft copy and our image copies. So it's like ad copy 1, image 1, and then it becomes really easy to identify later. So we have a lot of clients, and so they're all going to pop up here, but let me quickly switch to ours. You'll most likely just have your one Facebook page, or if you have a couple Facebook pages attached to your account, those will show up. So you need to pick a Facebook page, and the Facebook page just shows up at the top of your ad in tiny print. To create the ad, you come down here, you scroll down. So we'll start with a simple image ad. Your text you paste right here. Your headline goes right here, and you've already created all of this. For the description, you can paste in a small description if you want. Usually, we've been leaving it blank lately, so we just hit the space bar so that nothing shows up. Otherwise, it'll pull like language from your website. Down here, this is where you'll add in your URL of the landing page. So this goes to the landing page of the opt-in that you've already made. And the display link, this is optional. We usually just paste the landing page link again and get rid of the HTTP and the www. So it just starts with your domain name.com / your URL. And then for the call to action button, like I mentioned previously, we usually use the Learn More offer. Last thing, adding media. So add an image, and then a pop-up will show up, and you can upload your image right here. One other thing, if you had, say, an organic post, this is where you can actually, quote unquote, boost a post from within the ads manager. You can instead of making an ad, you could use so instead of creating an ad, you could use an existing post from your page or even your Instagram account. For something like this, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could definitely, if you had an organic post that you wanted to get more traffic or get more exposure, you could definitely do that. So basically, once you select existing post, it's not connecting right now to my Facebook page because my computer's moving too slow, but you could then see a list of all of your organic content and actually select the organic post you want to be live. Here we go. But again, I wouldn't recommend that. What we would recommend is that you can see here, it's going to pull up all of our Facebook posts. What we would recommend is, say if you have 2 pieces of ad copy and 2 images, combine them and then flip them to get 4 total ads. So, ad copy A with image 1, ad copy A with image 2, and then same for ad copy 2. They'll give you 4 to test. So after you make one ad, you can click the menu option here, these 3 buttons, quickly duplicate. It'll make a second ad, rename it, and then you'll have all the existing copy and headlines, and you can just change the image. And then you can do that again to make all of your other ads. And that's your ad campaign. And so once you're all set and you've followed these instructions, you've set your campaign to optimize, you shouldn't see any errors anymore. All you need to do is just click on the review and publish button up here for this to go live. It's important you do this because every now and then Facebook will make updates to your ads manager and it'll erase anything that hasn't been published. So it's good practice to make sure you upload everything that you're working on pretty quickly after you've done it. But once you've made it, you can hit review and publish, and a little warning box will come up making sure, is this what you want to load? If it's a yellow error, most of the time you can ignore it. Usually what that will say is your image isn't sized for Instagram stories, which is fine. If you had a square image, that'll still work on Instagram stories. So a yellow triangle, you can click fix error to see what the error is, but for the most part, it's only red errors that need to be fixed. And that's how you create your campaign. Now, once your campaign's live, after a couple days, when you look at the results, a quick way to figure out if it's working or not, if you have no conversions at all and you spent $75 or $60 and you do have clicks, so say you've had 50 clicks and no leads, that's pretty unlikely that you're going to get a less than 2% conversion rate on your free opt-in offer. So something's probably wrong. Either you're using the wrong URL, either your lead pixel isn't placed correctly. Something's going wrong because that's too low of a number. The other issue we'll see a lot is your lead pixel is actually placed on the landing page and not the thank you page for opting in. And in that case, your link clicks. So a good default column, if you don't customize your own, is performance and clicks. Your link clicks will match your results. So you'll say you'll have 20 leads and 20 link clicks, and that doesn't make sense either. No one has 100% conversion rate. So those are two quick ways to make sure everything's working correctly. But if you want to kind of make a better reporting for yourself, what you can do, I've already made one, you can save it, but you can come into this column report here, hit customize columns, and you can remove any numbers you don't want, and you can add in any new ones. So for this funnel, we want to track leads, but also purchases. And so the lead pixel, you can see we've already selected it. But then the purchase pixel, which should be placed on the thank you for buying page, you can also select it. This one here is actually a custom conversion we made. So that's a conversion where we base it off of the URL instead of placing a pixel on it. And return on ad spend is where Facebook gets that purchase data from the purchase pixel, including the dollar amount that you had entered, and calculates your return on ad spend for you. But what you end up seeing here is we can track the entire funnel. So we can see how many people from this ad hit the landing page, how many people actually opted in. Of those opt-ins, how many actually got to the checkout page of the Tripwire, and then how many of those actually purchased. So really helpful to be able to monitor your entire ad funnel, because what you might find are certain audiences get cheaper leads but more expensive sales. And if that's the case, maybe it's not worth continuing to advertise to them. So it's really good to build out your custom reporting in order to see the whole funnel. And you do that again just by going to this column, coming down here to the bottom under Customize Columns, and then making your edits. And then when you're done with it, it'll prompt you to save it. Make sure you save it so that you see this every time you come back in. Okay, so your homework, set up your ad campaigns, follow this video, use all the creative you've already built, and you already placed all the pixels, so you're all set up. Set up your ad campaign, review it at each step to make sure you're optimizing for a conversion event. All of your ads that you've made have the right links. And when you're good to go, hit publish. And then your second step is to make sure you set up reporting so that you can actually see the data you want to see. All right, looking forward to seeing how you all do.